know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by BetOnline.AG. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BLEAV50, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm Marcus Dash. I'm here with our legendary tight end, Jason Dunn. JD, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, my brother? What's going on? What's going on? Coming here, man, from a little victory, huh? A little victory on Monday.
Yep.
Look pretty good. A little tough. Divisional opponent. We knew that. We knew it wasn't going to be an easy road. But hey, guess what? We came back victors in Arrowhead, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What's going on?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, likewise with you. I know we were all kind of like, very like high energy on the post game show on Monday and late night Chief Concerns After Dark show. But yeah, I mean, after hearing what we had to say and then going to watch the game yourself, what was like? Were you surprised by anything, or were you more impressed by what you saw more so than what you were seeing in the chat on the live feed?
Maybe when I went to evaluate it, and some of the things y'all were saying, I was kind of shocked at, so I had a perspective going in, but to me, it didn't seem all that bad. I just like the game didn't really seem all that bad as far as if it was, really out of hand, for us at a certain point. But some of the things we were talking about, like some of the calls that were being made by the officiating crew, was very disheartening, disconcerting, and it was absolutely it was ridiculous. I think, especially the one on Chris. And I'll just say this: I don't think no one in the football world, not one. I haven't seen not one person that said that was a great call. Not one. I haven't seen anybody who was like, hey, you know what, questionable. Not at all. Everybody was like, that's a terrible call. Tony Dungy. I mean, Troy them at that time. I mean, every guy that I spoke to was just talking about how bad that call was. You had people that was from Oakland that was saying how bad that call was,
Yeah.
We talking about Oakland back, deep Oakland, So we know they're out there in Vegas right now, but we had some deep guys from Oakland like, man, that's a bad call. They don't say nothing bad about the Raiders. Yeah. So, but man, that it was completely uncalled for that call. Hopefully, some things going to be said and be done because of these things. I think you need to go back to reviewing some of these particular penalties. I think it'll be good. So hopefully, that's where this will lead. Yeah. When you see things happen like this, hopefully you're sitting there saying, well, look, we need to make these things better. If there's a question, there's a doubt, we need to put in a process that will rectify the situation of maybe some of these bad calls.
Yeah. And that's one thing the NFL has always been known to do as far as compared to other sport leagues. They act fast when it comes to the things that happen. They kind of jump on it. Like, for example, Tua thing. As soon as that Tua thing happened, they kind of acted fast on that. Any quarterback that looked iffy, they're taking him out and getting a concussion protocol. They're testing him right away. And you saw that this past week with everybody. You had Tight ends all over the league. I think I saw Freiermuth. Teddy Bridgewater was one of them. Everybody was getting tested for concussions. So they act fast. And I saw this week they're already looking to do something with the to look at the way they're officiating the roughing the passer plays. So hopefully they act on it. Hopefully we're not like on the receiving end like we were there on Monday.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I should look the concussions and whatnot. I do agree. Things like that, they have to be very cautious with, and they should enforce all those things. Tua should have never got to that point. The NFL, especially you, is going to be the arbiter. All these things are saying we're going to do everything in our power to stop concussions, or guys being put in positions or things happening, and that whatever protocol or however it worked failed. It absolutely failed. And so I think the Dolphins need to be held accountable. I think the guy that they fired is a scapegoat. This is me personally just talking about this. I think he was. But yeah, without a doubt, concussions definitely have to do it. And so the same thing with some of these calls that are questionable have to come in. But I think when you start looking at some of the roughing the passer on the quarterback, the way that play was, man, I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to put another yellow jersey or whatever type of jersey that you can't touch the quarterback, in the game. I mean, I think that's what it's coming to. Because all guys are getting hit, not just the quarterback. I mean, tight ends, everybody's getting hit. Yeah. So, I just think in particular because the quarterback, their position and, how they mean to the teams, the importance of them is maybe why this is being magnified even more. But that I think you're just really quick on the trigger when you start doing things like that. And that's just, it makes for, people being upset seeing things like that. So,
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, I made a joke online, like, put flag belt on the quarterbacks now. Because, like, if you can't tackle them, hey, at least it gives defensive end they can pull his flag and instead of actually sacking them. I mean, what is it coming to?
Well, I'll tell you, it's either put a flag on them or if a guy gets close to breathing on them, you better blow the whistle.
Yeah,
sack. Okay, we gonna play this game, then let's play it all the way. If it's even close and the guy's about to get in, start the play.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the way you do that. And see how they react then.
Yeah, no, seriously. That's the thing, too. It was a strip sack. So, like, the ball wasn't even in his hands anymore. It was done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Derek Carr apparently told Chris Jones after the game that he didn't think it was a penalty. I mean, he was surprised by what he told him.
I bet. Everybody was. So, I don't know, man. But they got to get better than that. That was just terrible.
Yeah. And, luckily for us, it wasn't a game-changing play as far as, us losing the game. We probably could have won by more than that had we gotten the possession there. But, nonetheless, we won the game. So, on to Buffalo. As the great Bill Belichick said, on to Cincinnati, we're on to Buffalo. So a few things before we get into the preview of week 6 with the Buffalo Bills, the rematch. We have some exciting news to share with you guys. On Twitter, we've kind of teased the giveaways. But we got to share with you a little bit more about our new partnership with the GLD shop. So with the holidays fast approaching, we're partnering up with the GLD shop and are giving away $200 worth of Chiefs jewelry. And all you got to do is subscribe and review our podcast on any of the platforms you use. So our subscribers out there, just go download. If you watch us, just go to Apple or Spotify, just give us a review there. And you've already done 2 of the things right there. And also to further help your holiday shopping needs, we use our promo code Chief Concerns. It's one word on the GLD shop website to receive 33% off any purchase. And that's, again, one word, Chief Concerns. GLD, a little bit about them. It's a jewelry website, but they're licensed with the NFL, MLB, NBA, NCAA, and Marvel. So they have chains and pendants for almost every team and every superhero in the Marvel world. So then they're licensed by the NFL and all these sports leagues. So great stuff, really. They are some badass stuff on there. And also, if you like the chain look, it's sweet.
I'll tell you what. Do you have any of that product with you that you can show the people?
I
You know,
do
so the
actually.
people, if you do, why don't you show the people what it looks like, man? You
All
know,
right.
sometimes people need to see the product in itself. You know, maybe on somebody, but it looks like, man, true. Give me some bling. I like to, get a good jewelry.
Yeah.
For real. And so
They have great stuff. And you know what,
you're,
JD?
you're,
I'm glad you said that. We're actually going to roll the tape for our quick little video on a show that the products we're going to give away to our Chief fans out there. All right, so hopefully you guys like the white gold Chiefs necklaces there. I mean, they're pretty badass. It's a shame that I have to give away to you guys. I want to keep it for myself, JD. I want to keep this for myself.
yeah. I hear you, man. Send me something my way. Hey, it looks good, man. So I'm going to go on the website, get those things. Hey, it looks good. So maybe next time I see a little bling on my shirt, that looks like a wonderful, wonderful like Christmas gift that you can have,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
Or birthday present or something, just anniversary. If you're just a fan,
Yeah.
okay? Buy something nice, for a friend, okay? They'll appreciate you for it.
Yeah.
So what better way to celebrate and show off your Chiefs paraphernalia than something like that looks beautiful, right?
Yeah. And the helmet one. So we have two helmets and we have one arrowhead the pendant that we're gonna send a necklace that we're gonna send along. But the helmet ones, they look pretty sweet. They look like the Terrell Suggs. I remember after he won after they won the Super Bowl, he had the giant the necklace. That's what kind of was a little miniature version of it, but still nonetheless pretty sweet. So again,
but it's subtle.
What's that?
No, I was just saying it's subtle. It's like, look, it looks nice. It's very subtle. Yeah.
100%. No, I like I said, I mean, this is when I saw these items, I was like, damn, that's just. And the thing is, it's like you don't really see these often, so it's pretty like it's a rare thing. It's a different product. It's very different. But again, to be involved and to get a chance at getting these one of these items, you must subscribe and review our podcast, and don't forget to use our promo code. And that's one word: Chief Concerns for a 33% off discount on any purchase on the GLD shop. So I hope you guys enjoy that and to take advantage of the discounts you can get there. So JD, you ready for Buffalo Bills week, baby?
Yes, sir. Let's get it going. I'm ready for these Bills to come in. Let's go. Let's grow. Let's go.
Clash to the Titans. Okay, so before we get into the Buffalo Bills, there's we mentioned the Chris Jones stuff that happened, and I feel like it's not the first time we've talked about Chris Jones and what's been going on this year. So now that we've had a few days to digest the whole Chris Jones roughing the passer, is it safe to say, because there's a lot of things going on Chiefs Kingdom on Twitter, is it safe to say the NFL officials have something against him? So we get the game-changing penalty in the Colts game where he's just talking to Matt Ryan, which you see players do it all the time. You see clips of Tom Brady, mouthing off the people. You see Max Crosby, Mahomes getting head-to-head during that game, talking crap to each other. No flags there, but yeah, Chris Jones gets it when he just says something to Matt Ryan. Referee flags him for that. Get the automatic first down. They drive down, and we end up losing that game. And then the one of the worst roughing the passing penalties of all time this past Monday against Derek Carr and the Raiders. So do you think Chris Jones has kind of developed some kind of a bad reputations with officials in the league based on just these penalties alone?
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't necessarily, buy into that. To be honest with you, just for the simple fact that I think just the officiating that's going around the entire league has been really bad. That's one consistent thing that's been happening is there's been some bad calls in a lot of football that's being played. So I've seen it on other games and whatnot. So I don't think they particularly are picking on Chris. I think they just caught him in the bad way, of course, with Matty Ice talking to him and saying something. I'm not sure what he said, but I'm could speculate. But that incident, and then of course, I know you kind of brought up Crosby and Patrick going at it, but we don't know what was being said. We don't know what the conversation was. We just kind of see the antics of it, and people are talking. I don't know if a referee was right there. We don't know if they were just saying, "Hey, man, lay me down, softer next time or whatever, right? Or I got you on the next game. I don't know. But I just think that the call that they made against Carr, I just think that was a bad call. It was just an absolute bad call because it went in and conferred. And so sometimes when you do that, you almost had, like you said, you had the personal vendetta, like, listen, you know what? Hey, man, you jumped on this guy. But other referees had to come in and say, no, like, I don't think that was, the right call. And so whoever made that call, I think is just the official who superseded in coming in and saying, like, look, I'm making the call. I'm making it say. I think that's what it is. And so I don't think it was against Chris as far as like them having any type of personal vendetta. I don't believe in it. I don't buy into that at all. So if we see it happen in another game or something like that, then it's a little bit different. It's not like Dennis Rodman. They know we had something against Dennis Rodman. I can remember the referee that had something against Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, he speaks with his eyes. He something team up. He's like, what did I do? He's like, your eyes told me everything about how you feel about me. Right? It was I can't even think his name. But no, I don't think it's anything against Chris. I'm not going to buy into that now. I don't think there's anything there. Just two bad penalties called against him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's the old. You seem to forget Paris with Billy Crystal, right? Where he plays the NBA referee.
Oh yeah.
Remember, at one point he snaps in the end. He's like, "You're out of here! You're out of here!" It's like, "What? I didn't even do anything to you."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe
right.
bad day,
Yeah.
I just feel like I had to ask that question because I'm seeing so much online, people sharing, old Chris Jones, roughing the passers. One being the AFC Championship game where I think Chris just like lightly like put his hand down and like hit Brady in like this area, like bottom of the face mask, and hit him like right here, and they called roughing the passer on that. So it's like
there's your answer. There's your answer on that. That's Brady.
I know,
that's your answer on that one.
Different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can't even think about that guy. What? Huh?
Mm-hmm. And there was another thing I know, like Michael Wilbon, he tweeted kind of hinting at this maybe being a racial thing. I don't know if you saw that. Just saying it's like at what point, so Brady gets that call. Tua doesn't get this call. Mahomes gets thrown away like a rag doll, doesn't get that call. But at what point are we gonna start asking the questions there? And I think he was alluding to it being a race thing. I don't know if it's so much a race thing. I mean, I've seen a lot of people comment, some agreeing with him, some disagreeing with him. So I just wanted to see if you think, if you see anything to that. I mean, I don't see anything to that, but
No, I think part of it is, maybe running quarterbacks is different than pocket passing quarterbacks. That's one of the things I think is maybe some of the discrepancy, right? So like Cam Newton, everybody was saying how Cam would get hit, and they wouldn't say anything about Cam. Well, he's a bigger quarterback. He's more of a running quarterback, takes off. He's not getting that call. Tom Brady, because of the number of years, because of his status, all those different things, he's like the Michael Jordan. It's the Jordan rule. And so we got it in football with the Tom Brady rule. That's what it is. So it's not a race thing, not at all. I just think that it's a privilege thing. That's what it is. Tom Brady has an exorbitant amount of privilege because of his status, the number of rings he's won, right? I mean, he's NFL royalty. Okay, Tom Brady, the most decorated football player of our time.
Yeah,
and so that's what that is. I don't think it has anything to do with anything else other than that. Other than like me saying, guys that are running quarterbacks, that's pretty much it.
Right.
So they're trying to use discernment somewhat as far as like that, making that decision about being hit. But I think they need to be consistent. I do. I don't care.
Yeah.
But they always say, look, hey, you can treat everybody fair, but you don't treat everybody the same. And that's the reality.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, consistency across the board. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. The exact quote was a tweet by Wilbon was, "Let me go further. It's okay to sling Mahomes to the ground, but not Brady and not Derek Carr. I'm just asking, but pretty soon it ain't going to stop with a question." That was what his tweet was. So that's why I was that's why I was asking that question. So,
well, I'll tell you what. Maybe once Brady's out of here, I think it's his last year playing. Maybe a couple more years. Pat is the one that he's at the pinnacle with everything, and I think he may get that. I think they'll take care of him like, oh, yeah, Pat, like, hey, this is a golden boy, it's a golden guy. Take it easy on him. So,
and a lot of people made the point was like, this guy cares so much about this referee who ref this game. This guy cares so much about this. This is our referee in the Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl when Mahomes was getting like licks after the whistle and stuff. All of a sudden, this guy cares about the safety of the quarterback. And I know obviously it's different because what just happened 2 weeks ago with the Tua thing. They're looking at it more carefully and stuff. But like this guy, the same guy who ref that game, let Mahomes get his ass beat in that game, and then he didn't let the I think it was our 2s and 3s O-line let his ass get beat, but he could have called a lot of whistles in that game, which he held the whistle on. So I guess that's where the point comes from a lot of fans, at least. For
them, he hadn't quite reached that status at that time. To them, they're just like, hey, man, he's still a young pup in this thing. Sometimes you got to earn your stripes. That's how it works. Yeah. That's the reality of it. And so when you start seeing that this guy is actually the cash cow for good football on TV, NFL, they know we got to take care of this guy. Before then, it was like, hey, he might be, but now, hey, we want this thing to work. We got to make sure Patrick Mahomes is being protected, and he's on TV. All right, and that'll come down from owners, commissioner, all of that, because everybody wants to see that battle on TV. They do. They just want to see it, and so he's getting there to that status. Believe me, he's almost there.
Yeah. He's the main event. He's the main event on the ticket.
Yeah.
So there you have it. JD, it does not think that Chris Jones is being pinpointed by the refs, which I agree with you on that. I don't think so at all. I don't think there is kind of reputation with him at all. I mean,
no.
And also, he's not a dirty player too, so that's not something too. The one thing he was like Ndamukong Suh, who had done a lot of dirty things. Chris has not done anything like this. So there is no like reputation there. I just,
right. Yeah, he not stomping on hands or heads, and he ain't doing any of those things. Yeah. So, he just beating centers and guards to death.
Yeah. So. Yeah. In the parameters of the game, he's doing stuff to these guys.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So our next topic this weekend coming up, we'll be playing in the rematch to what many say is the best NFL game and best NFL playoff game of all time. Many say this, where Mahomes famously scored to get to OT in 13 seconds and ended up winning in overtime. It was probably the biggest heartbreaker in NFL history. That for damn sure. That was definitely the biggest heartbreaker. Buffalo Bills fans thought they had that game won. Josh Allen and his whole family thought they had that game won. But anyway, leading up to this point, both teams are 4-1. They have the top 2 scoring offenses in the league, and this might surprise some people, but the Chiefs have the number 1 scoring offense in the league, and that's without Tyreek Hill. So just for many people who thought that wasn't going to happen this year. So the Chiefs have the number 1 scoring offense, Bills number 2. Bills are the current Super Bowl favorites in Vegas's eyes. The Chiefs are the second highest team with the Super Bowl odds right now. So you got the top 2 Super Bowl favorites in this game on Sunday. So that's interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. I thought we were going to number 3 or something, but number 2. So the Bills just romped the Steelers by 30 points on Sunday, and the Chiefs just snuck by the Raiders. So my question is, JD, with all things considered, with a team that's eliminated the Bills the last 2 years in the playoffs, and then in the fashion that we did this past playoffs, who has the bigger edge going into this game on Sunday?
Who has the bigger edge going into the game? Oh. Who has the bigger edge? You know what? I'm gonna say the edge is gonna go to the Chiefs because of you're playing in Arrowhead Stadium. Okay, you're actually going back to where the biggest disappointment ever happened to you. So mentally, I could still be messing with you, right? And so hopefully that's weighing in on them. I hope that's weighing in about what happened to them last time they was in the stadium. How disappointing that same feeling is coming out. I hope when they're flying here, they are wallowing in all of that agony what they went through last year. Seriously. And so they'll remember once they get in Arrowhead, and they'll see the fans booing them and saying all different things. So I'm just going to say the edge goes to the Chiefs because playing at home. Okay? So that's my assessment of it. I just think, when we play at Arrowhead, we're playing at home. And they got us as the underdog, by the way. They got us 4 points. It's crazy. Look, I know what Arrowhead is. They know what Arrowhead is. You've seen plenty of people talk about former players, the significance of Arrowhead and the ambiance and the environment that you're playing in. And it's going to be a hostile environment for those guys. And I hope they have nightmares from that time, and we continue to give them nightmares. It's coming up on Halloween, so we're just going to be Jason and Michael Myers on these jokers come Sunday.
Yeah. Freddy Krueger nightmares. Give them nightmares.
Oh, yeah. Freddy Krueger.
So you brought up a good point, and this is something that, like, I think last year we kind of had a similar question when we played them. Like, is this the lingering, losing the AFC Championship game last year? Is that lingering in their minds when they come to play this year? And you guys now it's a new team, new season and stuff. But I think you brought up a good point. It's in the fashion, the way they lost last year, which kind of like once they get to the field, that's so hard to not think about, and how close they came to winning that game, and like you thought you had it, and like now you're back into that like that dream world, really, because they a lot of those guys said they didn't feel like it was real. They couldn't understand him. I think Josh Allen sat there and like just on the bench for like another hour after the game. He couldn't believe what just happened. I mean, that's hard to get over, right? When a loss like that.
Oh yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, you had to think right there. 13 seconds that changed everything, right? I mean, everybody was going in, and look, and to be honest with you, the Chiefs were the same way before they went and scored down. The Chiefs had to handle it. I mean, if we stopped Josh Allen's on their fourth down, game's over. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so we didn't stop him, and they get a chance, they go down and they score, and it's just like, oh man, it's over. And there was a sigh of relief. Oh my goodness, I can't believe, they was elated because they beat the Chiefs, or at least they thought they beat the Chiefs, in Arrowhead during their playoff game. But then that 13 seconds, and Kelce, and do it, Kelce, the old do it, Kelce, the old Grim Reaper coming out with the sickle, giving the Tyreek Hill, and guys go down. 13 seconds change everything. Buckner kicks a beautiful field goal, and guess what? Hey, the course of history has changed, right? The course has changed. So I think that is going to weigh on significantly. I do. There's a lot of different pieces this year on both teams. And so they're going to do the job of just having them guys capture the moment of what this thing means for them, right? And just letting them know. Look, and I'm sure the young guys who coming in, everybody remembers that play. Everybody remembers that game. I'm sure when they was in college, they was watching this too. Everyone. And so everyone was watching it. If you didn't watch it, you heard about it. Yeah. So I know this is going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game, a hard-fought battle. But like I said, that's why I give the edge to the Chiefs, man. I just do. So we'll see. And look, everybody's sitting there talking about how great the Bills are. All right, I'm going on my little rant right now. But they're not an unbeatable team. You see them get beat. Okay? They almost got beat by the Ravens. So they could have had 2 losses. Easy. The teams they beat is the 1-4 Steelers, okay? And what is it? The 2-3 Rams. So, and the 3-2 Titans. That's who they beat. That's their wins. And the Ravens 3-2, which they should have lost to. Yeah. So it's not like they're an unbeatable team whatsoever. I don't buy into it. I get Josh Allen is a great football player. He's a great quarterback. Taking nothing away from him. They have great wide receivers in Diggs and in Davis, right? McKenzie. Their running game is just suspect, for one, okay? They are suspect. They always have been the past few years. Their defense has gotten better. They got a better defense, okay? They do. But I think we're ready for that. Spag's going to have something for Josh Allen and the wide receivers, okay? And Knox, I don't know if Knox is going to play or not. He's going to have something for that. Same thing offensively. Andy and Bieniemy, they're going to have something for their defense. Yeah. And so these guys are going to be ready. They're going to be prepared. And the Chiefs understand the significance of this game too. Okay. And I'm sitting there saying, this here is a battle of like, who's going to be at the top of the NFL after this game is over?
Yeah.
I mean, this is how the dust settles after this. Whoever wins this game is going to be at the top of the NFL at that moment. And so, yeah, it's too early, but this is a great test. It's a great test between two great teams just to see where you are from what it has been these past few weeks. Yeah. But my edge is to the Chiefs. I just think that we have what it takes, to beat these guys. I do.
And this is something that I saw. Because a lot of people thought we were going to lose the Raiders because we were looking ahead, right? And I looked and saw I forgot what the numbers were, but teams that beat teams by 30 points, the record the following week is actually a losing record. Teams that win by 30 the following week, they end up losing. But they have a higher loss percentage there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything to that, us playing in such a close game where we kind of had battle for that win versus a team where Buffalo steamrolled rookie first start for Kenny Pickett, Steelers 38-3 at home. I mean, is there anything to that where they're coming off a high school football team versus us having to play in an AFC West battle? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, look, you could sit there and say, if you have a hard-fought game, you're battle tested, you're battle ready. Mm-hmm. You just had a harder road to get to where you needed to get to. And so what that does, it toughens you up. Mentally, it prepares you, toughens you up. When you just got finished blowing somebody out, who wasn't really a very good football team, you tend to relax a little bit. So I could see some of that. I could definitely see some of that. Because what ends up happening is, this last game was like, and you took it easy. So you didn't really get the type of hard work that you really needed. It was easy for you mentally to deal with things, easy for you physically. But now you're coming into fighting somebody who have seen the blows and just went through a hard week, okay? And they're ready. Matter of fact, that hard week prepared them for this week coming up. Mm-hmm. And so it's all about preparation. It's kind of shocking, but I understand. I get it. I get why that may be, a thing. I really do. That's interesting. That's interesting to hear.
I was surprised by that. Yeah, I was watching the Colin Cowherd show earlier, and they talked about that little nugget, which was like, oh, that's interesting. I mean, you got to figure there's not many 30-point blowouts in the NFL. It happened. I mean, it happens, but 30 points, and then you come back to next week, and you kind of lay down to your opponent because you think you're the best. Winning by 35 points. That's interesting. You see things happen in boxing all the time, right? Yeah.
When the guy's like, hey, he's the champion, and he's winning by easy, knocking him out in the first round, so he can get to work. And all of a sudden, you get a guy who went, all the way, and he's just a fall hard slugging fest coming out. And so the very next fight, it's like, oh man, this dude, man, it took him forever to try to get that win. He won on a decision, right? Yeah. Of all things. And then all of a sudden you go and fight this dude, and this dude's hitting you with punches. I'm like, God, leave. Oh my gosh. And he still has that grit from that last fight. You know what I'm saying? He's throwing punches because he's like, this is my life. And now, and so I think it's part of what it is. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it is, man.
And I think you hit on it. The schedule that they've had, it's been kind of a softball schedule leading into this. And I know Miami is good. They lost Miami, but Baltimore, they should have lost that game. You talk about Pittsburgh, and then where we've just gone from, obviously the Colts game, and then we go from Colts to Bucks. That was everyone's NFC favorite, and then we go to Oakland or Vegas. Vegas comes to town, and that's an AFC West battle. Those could go either way.
Vision game.
Crazy. I mean, and they're coming off these patty cake games, so there is something to that as well. So yeah, I definitely I like that aspect of it as well.
Oh yeah.
All right. So one of the big things the next topic, one of the big things that we saw on Monday was the offensive line struggles, which was kind of night and day compared to what we saw in Tampa Bay of last week. You saw the offensive line struggling to get much push up front as far as running the ball. Thankfully, McKinnon ran his ass off in that game. He looked good. Looked like the playoff McKinnon we had last year. And we could, in the first half of the game at least, it was hard to get the Raiders pass rush not in the backfield. We made Chandler Jones, who's got, had pretty much, hasn't really done much this year, get back there and beat OBJ on pretty much everything in that first half, got everything he wanted. And they sacked Pat 3 times. The thing about that is, going into that game, they had 5 sacks in the season. After that game, they now have 8, so they must eclipse their season total in that game alone against us. So Raiders are tied for 30th in the league in sacks. Bills, on the other hand, 5th in the league with 16 sacks, and the Bills have given up the second least amount of rush yards on the season next to the Niners. So stout against the run and good against the pass. And this Bills team checks off all the boxes, as far as what you want in a creme de la creme defense. So what do you think? What does the offensive line have to do this week to kind of keep these guys, this defensive front, off of Pat and allow our run game to kind of do its thing? What does the O-line need to do this week?
Okay. So I think part of what they have to do is they got to make sure protecting Pat is they got to make sure up front the depth of the pocket is secure. Okay, I think it starts up front, and then all of a sudden when we're talking about the pass rush from outside, Von Miller still being effective, right? He's still a beast out there, incredible player. You have to make sure that you are in kickback, not getting beat inside, and you have a back or somebody chipping and helping. I think it's the key to victory. So your technique, your footwork, all those things got to be on point, with these guys. If you do that, because what we end up doing is Patrick catches the ball. He's already 5 to 7 yards deep, 7 yards deep when he catches the ball, and then he retreats another 5. So it's like 12 yards. So the defensive ends know, look, I'm going to keep coming to a point because Patrick is dropping back really far, okay? Far enough where a tackle, he can't keep retreating to stop me from getting to the quarterback, okay? Because he's just going to keep going back further and further. We seen Patrick sometimes when he retreats, he just keeps backing up, trying to buy time. And he can't do that. He's got to, when he gets the ball, he's got to step forward. He's got to step up, okay? That's why it's very important, very paramount that those guys up front secure the inside part of that pocket. The depth of the pocket is very, very vital to the Chiefs' success. And number 2, just not in the pass protection, but in the run blocking. Hey, you got to run downhill, baby. Okay, it's the same thing when we went against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay had a great defense. They got fast defense. Okay, what do you do with speed is you go and you hit these guys in the mouth. All right, that's what you do. I don't think that the Bills' defensive linemen, the defensive tackles, is as good as some of the guys that we played. I'm just be honest. I really don't. I think they're guys. They do a good job of rotating, keeping guys fresh. I think that's pretty much kind of like their formula. That's what makes them very effective. But I think the main thing you have to do is you got to run at these guys, get great double teams, and get up to the second level. I think once you do that, run down the hill, get up the field, hey, you're going to soften up that defense. And it'll soften up that pass rush too, okay? I think if you run the ball effectively with CEH, McKinnon, and Pacheco, then you're going to have success. And so I think that's the victory that's the keys to victory, what you need to be effective against this Bills defense. Now, against their offense, I loved what we did last week. A lot of people didn't like it, but to me, I could see what Spags was doing. Spags was trying to get those guys prepared. He was trying to get them forged in this fire. And what he was doing is he was having these guys go man-to-man, one-on-one against the top receiver in the league, arguably the top receiver in the league, in Devontae Adams, okay? And so it wasn't like you had like a chopped liver out there in the receiving core because you still had Wally, you still had Renfro, you had Hollis, you had another guy, I forget what's his name. But, good guys. Carr's a good quarterback. But Fenton, Watson, these guys are going to be challenged. Okay, we're going to get McDuffie back this week, right? Correct? And McDuffie coming back this week? Yep. So he's got to come back. He's got to still get in shape because he's been out for a while. But he wanted to challenge these guys. Spags is going to be ready. He's going to run some blitzes. He's going to run a lot of different, combination coverages to kind of throw him off, maybe look like man, but actually have a little bracket, doing some things, maybe some zone, switch some things up. But the main thing is you got to get to Josh Allen. And when you get to him, you got to get him down on the ground because he's a big, strong man, and he will absolutely run you over if you're not ready. So I think a young secondary, what I like about them so much is because they're very confident in their ability and in their skill set, because they have great ball skills. I think they're going to be fine. And so I have no problem with, our secondary. We got great linebackers doing a tremendous job. And then our guys just getting after it. So Dunlap, Frank Clark, Kolofkis, all those guys, Chris Jones, we need those guys this week more than ever, getting at Josh Allen. And so like Chris was saying, he kind of got on himself about some of the things they weren't able to get on the tackles with Josh Allen too. So that's the keys for victory for me, offensively and defensively. I think if you stay with that formula, it should be the keys to victory.
For the amount that Josh Allen runs the ball, how important is Nick Bolton on defense? Because they really don't have a run game. He's their run game.
Oh, yeah. So Nick does a great job. He's sideline to sideline. Any guy that's going to be able to roam. And, we know he's a sure tackler. Does a great job. Harris came in and did a tremendous job with what he's been doing. So I like the guys. I like, linebackers to make plays. And I think these guys will be able to do it. And so if we run some twists, like I said, we do some stunts, we run some blitzes, shoot little corner blitzes, off the slot, kind of throw them off, that'll change things. And the thing is, you got to get them in third and long. That's what you want to be able to do. Get them in third and long. Okay. And you do that, you make them make some errant throws, or you make Josh run. Okay. Let him try to run for the first down. And then you just go stop him.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I mean, one good thing that they don't have compared to what we played last week, Josh Jacobs, they have a bell cow running back. Bills don't have that. Josh Allen really is their bell cow, so to speak. So like that helps us in a way as far as they don't really have a run game. Singletary's good, but he's not Josh Jacobs. And they haven't really gotten the run game going this year.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You got to disrupt the timing of it, right? And so if they don't have that guy that can run the football, I think our guy's going to do well up front defensively, against their offensive line. But like you said, the key is, stopping Josh Allen from running the football. Yeah. And so when you have a chance to put your hat in the hands on this guy, you got to make sure you get him down and you make sure he pays for it every time you hit him, and just keep laying on him and keep hitting him. It's almost the same thing like Herbert when he came in, keep hitting him, keep going after him. And Spags don't have something like that dialed up. Spags, but I like it because Spags trusts those guys in the secondary. I think our secondary, also they're young. I think skill set and all of that, they're much better than they was last year.
Yeah. And I think part of the reason why we kind of, upended that secondary was because of that game we played against Buffalo. Gabriel Davis breaking every playoff record against our secondary seemed like.
Yeah. A lot of it was just poor communication. Like Gabriel Davis got open, and it was like, well, how did he get open? Like nobody was around him. They're looking at like, what happened? Like so I don't think we have to worry about that, man. I think these guys, Reed, Thornhill, and those guys are going to do a great job. Snead, yeah, definitely.
Is that something like because of what happened in that game last year? Is that something like when we in a game in the week this week, like practice leading up to that? Is that something that they're taking note of? All right, guys, we had a lot of freaking mess ups in communication last year. Let's make sure we're mindful of that this week. Is that something they're kind of keying in on just so that doesn't happen again against the same opponent?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a very important part. Is everybody communicating, everybody being on the same page. Because if you're not, these guys will make you pay, man. They will make you pay. We know that. Shit. Gabriel Davis just had that huge game last week. They made me cuss on here. He did a huge game last week. I got him on my fantasy, so I was just like, "Oh shoot, it's not going to hit for this." Oh yeah, but don't let him get behind you. And a lot of it is just you got to get to him. You got to get to Josh Allen. That's part of the problem. They don't have shoot. The Steelers don't have their guys on the outside. They ain't got TJ Watt, and the other guy was out too. I can't think of his name at the moment.
Highsmith?
Yeah. And so that's tough. Hey, you don't get Josh Allen, man. He's going to make you pay with that big arm, these guys. So,
yeah. No, and I know we talked good about the Bills' pass rush, 16 sacks in the season. We're not that far behind him at 13. So, I mean, hey, let's give our guy, give our guys their flowers. Or 13 sacks. We were scared about the pass rush going into the season. And look, it's looking great. And our guy, George the Animal Karlaftis, he's got his first sack of his career on Monday. So.
Yeah. Half sack. Give him a half one.
Half sack.
Sorry. I said it was his. He had it.
Yeah.
Because other guys didn't really have to touch him. George had it. He had it. But no, that's good. That's good.
All right, so I think I know where you're already leaning with this, JD, but for the final topic, our game prediction, Chiefs are currently a 4-point underdog at home again, and I believe the spread's been fluctuating from 3.5 to 4 points, but it opened up as a 4-point underdog at home against the Buffalo Bills. Bills coming off a 30-point blowout win over the Steelers. This is also the first time in the Mahomes era where he is an underdog at Arrowhead. Isn't that crazy? And you mentioned it earlier, but it's his first time he's an underdog at home. Crazy. So JD, what? Not the keys to victory. You already laid that out for us. But who do you have winning this game on Sunday at 4:25? And we of course, we're getting the same crew we had during the playoffs last year. That's Jim Nantz and Tony Romo calling this one. So nothing more fitting than having Nantz and Romo call Chiefs Bills.
I got the Chiefs winning. Okay, got the Chiefs winning, and this is where I'm at with this. I think it's going to be a shootout, high-powered game offensively. But I'm looking right now, 35-24 Chiefs.
Oof. 2-possession game, huh? They were going to win by 2 possessions?
Yeah. I think, everybody's going to give their best blows. I do. But I think, to be honest with you, the Chiefs are going to come out victorious. I think what's going to happen is going to be the coming out party. They've been waiting for these wide receivers to show up. You watch what they do this game. You watch what they do. And I think it's to be another one to maybe Jordy Force and get another one down there. They're not going to let Travis Kelce beat you. I think that's the main thing they're going to be trying to stop. Okay, that's going to be the guy. But also too, I think our running back's going to have a pretty good game. I do. So look for the wide receivers and running backs to have a good game against this defense. Their power is at front line. Once you get to that secondary and the second level, then all bets are off. That's different. When you start doing that, you get to them, okay, this is a little bit different challenge, okay? Now, our guys can play with those guys all day. I ain't got no problem with that whatsoever. As long as you keep Patrick up, keep him protected, you let that running back chip and go out to the flat, or do the chip and the quick swing. I think, man, it's going to be 35-24 Chiefs. That's where I'm at.
So looking at this, so I guess in the time that we talked when I sent the questions for tonight, Bills are now a 2.5-point favorite. So it's gone up. So now it's gone down. So now Chiefs are a 2.5-point underdog. So it seems like the money's starting to come in on Kansas City a little bit. So that's bringing that line down. So now it's at 22.5 point favorite. So you already have the Chiefs winning by 11. So in regards to you saying this game is going to be 35-24, 59 points, the total points for this game, which is the highest point total for any of the games this weekend, 54. So you have the over on that one.
54. Okay. What's the line? Where is it at?
It's now 2.5 points. So Chiefs are 2.5-point underdogs.
For the total?
The total points is 54 points for the entire game. For the total.
Okay. Point. Ooh.
So you're 5 points off.
I was going to say, I'm looking at this. Okay. I might switch it up. Okay. Switch it up.
All right.
Let's go 24-31.
Ooh.
31-24. Okay. That's where I'm at.
So right over. Yeah, right over a little bit.
Yes. Right over.
What?
31-24.
What's the change? Why'd you make the change?
The 35 was just we may stall out on a touchdown and we may get, a couple of field goals. That's what I'm looking at, maybe. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to that, but they're still going to be victorious.
Yeah.
31-24. And I think the Bills will probably get a touchdown late to get to 24. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm thinking. They're not going to come out and just start shooting and I don't see that. I'm seeing the Chiefs going in and scoring and letting people know exactly who they are. And so I'm just feeling like maybe the pace of the game, toward the end, because they're more one-dimensional. They're a passing team anyway, right? So they can score. They're gonna move the ball, move the chains down the field. They get 24, but the Chiefs still gonna beat them 31-24. That's where we at. I got
like
that. That's it. Mark my words on it. 31-24, man. Put money on that one. I feel that.
I like it.
If I was a betting man, I put money on it.
I might have to do it, JD. I might throw with it.
There you go.
I'll tell you what. Looking at these lines here, you got the it's so contrast. We start the weekend off with tomorrow night's game, the Commanders and Bears. That's the total points for that game is 38 points. Then you just a contrast. You go to our game, 54 points.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel for those Bears and Commanders fans. I really do. I do.
Yeah, you just ruined my Thursday night. I'm like, dang, God, that's who's playing.
It's
Oh, well.
2 weeks in a row of awful. I mean, it might be a high scoring game, but last week that Colts Broncos game, that was just pitiful offense. And then this week, 38 points. I can't see a game being any more offensive than that last week Thursday night game. So hopefully something comes.
I got two guys in my fantasy just playing tomorrow at least. So
okay, well,
actually three.
It gives you more reason to watch it.
More reason to watch. Yeah. I watch because of that. But
yeah. But all right, people. That does it for us. We'll see you guys on Sunday, right after the Bills and Chiefs game, to discuss what we just saw in that one. Hopefully, it's a good outcome to that one. But for everything else, thanks for tuning in to Chief Concerns presented by BetOnline. Make sure you guys subscribe and review the Chief Concerns podcast so you guys can get in on the goodies we're trying to give away to you guys. So we'll see you guys next time. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.